What do we do?
Yay, you made it. I was worried that you didn't make it last time.
I know, I was super sick.
Oh, bummer.
I've been super sick. Like I was like, there was a big part of me, and I was like, oh my god, do I have this coronavirus? But I didn't. I just had the flu.
Oh, yay. You just had the flu. Great. Oh, okay. I'm glad you're better.
I was just the flu. I was fine.
All right. You were going to get the harassing email if you didn't show up today, so. I'm just so hungry. Obnoxious.
I know.
Let me get something to drink real quick.
There we go. I think he already started calling. He ain't even here yet. Oh. There he is. See, I told you he was there.
We actually took our dog to the groomer, so she's not going to look quite so mangy. So. We found a groomer that's open that basically you meet the person in the parking lot and you hand your dog off and they take it inside and hope for the best. It's like, poor Fluffy. Hope she's okay. She'll be fine. She'll not look quite as bad as she does right now. Our neighbor's got a dog that's way worse than ours as far as bad fluffitude goes. So Charlene's got people dancing in the background. So far, Charlene, you have the best test so on point. Perfect. So yours is awesome. So great job.
My test?
Yeah, you did a really good job on the written part. So I've gone through, there's about 10 more that I have to do still. So I'll still be working on those. So the few people have a few issues that I will discuss next week when we go through, because we're going to write up the one we're doing right now. We're going to write this up as a class. And so you can I'll give you some feedback after you did the last one so we can do this one, the write-up for this one. This right now is being live streamed on YouTube. So if you go to my YouTube channel that I've been putting stuff on before, it's a little bit of lag time so you can see myself. So you can see, I don't know if the screen share is still on, but yeah, so there we go. So the screen share, it's so weird. It's like living in an alternate universe. Okay, so if you go to the YouTube channel, it's streaming on YouTube. So then I don't have to worry about saving and uploading it. I can just live stream it on YouTube. It's kind of cool. We'll see if I get in trouble for it. Don't know if I am or not. So that's when somebody's supposed to walk by naked or something. My son is threatening to do this like 5 or 6 times. So we'll see if that happens. Okay. Anyway, so what I was doing while y'all's gone is I've been working on this. So this is the candy data. Finally, we had enough people add in some data so that we actually have data in here. And good morning.
Morning.
What we're planning on doing is when we get everybody logged in here, I will dump you into breakout groups, and each of you is going to come up with at least 3 hypotheses to test based on this data. So we're going to go through the data first, then we're going to break you into groups and have you write down hypotheses. Then somebody from each of your groups is going to be given control of the computer, and you have to test the hypothesis. Yay. So we'll go through the process and how it works and everything else and see how this works. We have a working version of SPSS that you guys can use at home. Curtis, the guy that's the CIS guy that's doing this, got access to the servers yesterday, so I haven't talked to him today, so I don't know if we can actually log in or not. But we should be able to log into SPSS from home, hopefully this afternoon, actually, but we'll see. Once Fluffy comes back from the groomer and she's all safe, then life is good. All right. So when I'm sharing my screen, do you see everybody that's logging in? Or do I can't see what I see versus what you see? Okay.
It only shows like a portion of the people.
Yeah, but that's your screen shows the chunk. When I do a screen share, I don't think it shares the Zoom. I'm not sure. But we'll wait for a few more people to trickle in here, and hopefully everybody's doing okay. And I'm going to see everybody's talking about. And everybody going completely stir crazy yet? CS extroverts don't like this. Us extroverts go nuts when we're stuck with the same people all the time. Introverts are like, fine, this is great. I get to sit and read and quiet. I can look at my same paintings. So I've decorated behind me here. So I moved the beer.
That's why you have to get plants.
There's lots of plants just outside the door. And the problem is if I leave the door open, you can hear all the family yelling at each other on the side of the house. So
Yeah, us too. I'm going insane. I keep yelling at everyone.
yeah, and it's just like
Under construction.
oh no.
My parents got so bored that they're remodeling the whole house and they're
Yeah, that was last week for us.
everything.
That was last week. I miss like getting up and like getting ready to do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually an article this morning about this guy that lives by he's been living by himself for 50 years. And he lives in this little tiny abandoned silver mining town in Colorado. And he basically says, in order to stop, to not go insane, you have to have a schedule. You get up, you take a shower, you get ready, you do, and then even if you're not doing anything, you have to have that ritual, that schedule. For me, it's big bugging me because I miss working out first thing in the morning. So I usually get up at 4, I go work out, and then I come home, take a shower, get everybody ready to go to school, and head to school. I'm not doing that right now. we've been working out in the afternoons, and which is great because it's nice and warm and it's not miserable getting up at 4 in the morning to go work out. But it's really hard for my day to kind of get going without working out in the morning. So I get up and play some video games for a few minutes on my phone and drink coffee. My poor wife's got a ulcer brewing due to stress, and it really sucks. And so she can't drink a lot of coffee right now. So I get the whole pot. So now I'm shifting to Diet Coke because I just found these in the fridge and I'm really sick of everything else that we have in our fridge. So I'm sure they were meant for some reason because it's a little tiny can. Or I'm a giant person. One of the two. All right, we'll wait for a few more people to jump in here. And thank you for putting data into the data set. Let me see what I've got as far as data goes here. I'm gonna make you all small here. And there's my YouTube channel. We're broadcasting live on YouTube. It's cool. Okay, so can you see this? This is the data set. Okay, so no one else has entered anything in since 10:50 this morning. So thank you. I've entered all that stuff is now entered into the SPSS data sheet. I will save this. If you have a copy of the home game, you can play this, and I'll put this on Canvas right after class after we've done everything. So you can do that. Let's see. What else? The possum was not hurt. There's Madison. Missed you this morning. Were you there this morning, Madison? Oh, you were there? Okay.
Yeah, I was.
I didn't see your little Madison there. So, okay. Let's see. Who else? We have a couple of folks that are missing. There's Sydney's there. Good. I like it. The back row is actually here. You guys rock. Back row people usually like, yeah. You guys are there. That's awesome. Appreciate that. Okay. So what was the data set we had you guys do?
The candy
data set, right?
Yeah.
This might get weird. I'm going to see what happens when I do this. Just a sec. So the candy data. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Hold on. So the question is does candy, is it different than other foods? Right? And so multiple displays, I'm going to put you on one display and have my computer on the other display. All right. All right. So what can you guys see right now?
Display.
Okay, you can see let's see, okay, do you see any black screen anywhere or is it all the same?
No, it's just your settings for your display.
Perfect. Yeah. Good. Okay, good. So what I can do is I now have two monitors going on my computer. I have one monitor here that's in front of my face with you guys in it. And then I also have another, so I can sit and look at you. And you're not wearing a blanket today, Ariel. What's up?
Oh, I took a shower.
Wow, excellent. Whether you needed it or not.
Yeah, I worked out in between classes, so I was like,
perfect.
It's too warm to have a blanket.
Oh, good. Yeah, I know. It's actually nice outside. I'm really jonesing to go outside here quickly. As soon as I can go outside. Just trying to make this full screen so it works. Okay. Now I can see almost everybody. Okay, so go there. So we got SPSS open now. So what I did is I took all the data from the last couple years and I put them all into this data set. And I went through the beginning of class, and if you go back, and I'm live streaming this on YouTube, as opposed to using the Zoom recording. The Zoom recording dumps it, and then I have to find it and then copy and paste it and put it into Canvas. This way, the Zoom recording will go directly onto my YouTube channel. And so if I'm right on my YouTube channel, then you can just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll just get whatever videos that are on there. It doesn't show you on there; it just shows the screen share, I think. Not sure. We'll see what it does. I could go back and look at the YouTube channel just to see what it's actually recording and showing right now. Yeah, it looks like it's only recording and showing the It's not showing both monitors. It's just showing my computer monitor. Okay. So you guys aren't broadcast on YouTube so far. Aw, that's a very nice schnauzer you have there. Okay. So got it. I got to stop watching the YouTube channel because the lag time's about a minute or so behind where we are. Okay. We get a data set. We ask, we do an experiment. We want to find out, is our nutrition supplements different than candy? Is a granola bar the same as a candy bar? That was kind of the big question that we started with last time. So we have to come up with, we have an experiment. Is the thing labeled as a promotional, is it labeled as something healthy? Is it labeled as candy, or is it labeled as something else? Okay, so let me go open up the whiteboard here. Oops. Maybe it won't open the whiteboard. Maybe it's already open. There it is. Okay, it's intro. Okay, so what does a mu mean? Somebody?
Like the average for a population.
Good. It's a population average or population mean. Okay, it's a parameter. So what we're going to do is we are going to test whether candy has a set of parameters to it or not. What defines something being a candy? That's what we're going to basically do. And so we have three groups: candy, candy corn, candy canes. Sorry, if you're a buddy fan. That's anyway. So we have candy and not candy, and then nutrition. Now, some of you entered in some food that wasn't exactly on the list of things to list. So if we sort by healthy here real quick. For example, goldfish, Denti Moore beef stew, Scooby-Doo graham cracker sticks. I really want those right now. Okay, anyway, a Slim Jim, great value tuna. I like that one. As opposed to crappy value tuna, which you buy at Whole Foods. Anyway, chunky soup, minestrone with Italian. What are those things?
Which thing?
They're food.
Food.
Yeah.
It's just food. And so, okay. I love Slim Jims are good stuff right there. Okay. But so that stuff is just food, right? So it's not really labeled as a nutrition supplement like a granola bar is. It's not really labeled as a candy. It's just food. And we could label it as junk food or non-junk food, okay? Or we could label it as, we can label it as all sorts of different things. But I put those things as a 3 because that wasn't really coded as, it's not nutrition, it's not nutrition, it's food. So we can find out if that not candy, is it like candy or is it like the nutrition supplements? So we can add it in there, no problem. So the big assignment that comes after this one is, and I'm hoping you'll have SPSS to play with by that point, is that I have a database with all sorts of fast food in it. I've been uploading fast food into this database for years. It's got hundreds and hundreds of fast food items. And it's totally cool. Well, it's totally cool to me because I really don't like fast food for what it is. So what you can do is with the fast food database, you're going to do exactly the same thing you're doing with this database. Okay? And if for some reason the SPSS isn't working, we're going to do it the same way. But how do you evaluate a food based on its nutrition? That's the goal. It's exactly the same as we did with the bodies. Exactly the same as we did with the bodies. So nothing new, nothing different, except we're just adding layers of statistical tests to it. Okay. So before we can start doing any sort of statistical tests, what's the first step in any sort of analysis? That's not my teeth. Come on, what's the first step?
Look at the data.
Well, aside from saving the file where you want it, so I better make sure I save this really quickly. Okay, file is saved. Maybe it's not saved. Okay, so I saved the file, so that's fine. We got that done. Okay, what do we do now?
Make a pie chart.
Of what?
Check for error.
Or, yeah.
This
Somebody sounds like Wally. Somebody sound like Wally. Okay, make a pie chart of.
Like the names. Like
category. Yeah,
Category.
all of your
Good. I'm gonna make a pie chart with a category. Now this isn't really analysis. This is just to see if we have enough data to really do this. And this is our primary category, because if we don't have enough data to do this, we can't do anything. So can we really compare candy and not candy? I'm pointing down. Can we really compare it? Somebody say yes.
yes.
Yes. Okay. Really, you can nod your head vigorously, and that's yes. And I don't have my mic turned on land. Okay. So in this particular case, I'm going to double click on it. What? I heard a squeak. I'm going to put my value labels on here. I'm going to put my frequencies on here. Again, this is something that you'd be practicing doing if you had your computers right now, but we will make it work for you by next week. So we have 80 chunks of food that are labeled as candy. We have 67 foods that are labeled as not candy. And then we also have 9 foods labeled as I just put food in there. So the answer is we really can't evaluate this last hypothesis. We can't really evaluate this chunk yet because
There's not enough data.
Yeah, and the letter that we have to use is it's just taking way too long to do this, but N. We don't have enough N of not foods. However, I happen to have an entire database of food. So we could actually use the database of food to see how food is different than candy and how food is different from nutrition bars. Maybe nutrition bars aren't really food. Ooh. Okay, moving on. Excuse me. Okay, get rid of that. Okay. So now, so we can continue on. We have to go back to our hypothesis though, initial hypothesis. And what are we going to get rid of? Aside from that thing in my tooth? Got it. What are we getting rid of here?
The food.
Yeah. We're getting rid of the not, whatever. You get it. Okay. So check. We've got my pie chart. What do I do now?
Check for errors.
Good. So if you go back and watch the live stream, I started recording the live stream as I was doing this. I went back and started to go. I love online. Okay, so I went through and checked for errors, and what did I make a bunch of? Histograms, and I'm looking for sleepy little mice out here. I'm looking for outliers. I found a few. A few of them had some very strange things going on with the data, so I just kind of deleted those. Whoever entered the Reese's Pieces in, either Reese's Pieces are extremely egregious or something was weird with the way that the data went in. So I just got rid of the Reese's Pieces. Sorry, Jessica, I'm sure that was you because you were eating them last class. not to out you, but I really want those and we don't have any. We do have some Reese's Peanut Butter Cup things in the other room for Easter, but I'm not eating those yet. I did eat the Rice Krispie treat last class. Now, but I put the almonds back because I'm nutritionally conscious. Anyway, so okay, so we go back and I made a series of histograms. If I go back and we'll talk about that in a little bit, made some errors. Histograms, and what I'm looking for is things like this. Okay, I'm looking for things like that. And when I find something like that, I'm like, wow, maybe that's not right. Does a particular food item have over 60 grams of fat in it? Well, if it's a chicharrone, yeah. Anyway, moving on. And so if I go down a little bit here, we can start to look at saturated fat. This something over here had 85 milligrams of saturated fat. That's ridiculous. And so I went and looked at see what it was to see, is that right or not? Why would I assume that that's not right?
It's so skewed.
It's so far outside the mean, it's not likely a part of this distribution. So I deleted that one because it's too far outside. What if we find something like this? Should I get rid of all of these folks up here?
No.
Might be just like a separate group.
Yeah. Maybe that's a group. Maybe that is something that's interesting. So I'm going to leave that in there because it does look like a little parameter. It looks like a little distribution out there. And maybe if I find more of that and select more of that, if this actually does represent a mu, what will happen is as I increase my n, this group will get bigger and this group will get bigger. And the gaps between them will disappear. That's the hypothesis. That's our goal. Anyway, so clear that. Okay, oops. Annotate, clear, go. Okay. So as I'm scrolling down here, I basically did this already. And then I started, there's saturated fat, there's that one. There was something weird there. I can't remember what that one was. So then there's protein. Again, there's some different groups in there, so maybe that is something. Total carbs, you notice there is something there too. There's maybe another group there. Salt. Anybody know what this is? It's almost a gram of salt per serving.
Sodium. Oh.
Yeah, what is that though? Food.
Chips.
That's the almonds that I had.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, that means they're not natural. You gotta have natural almond, organic. Those are the
But
best
they're
ones.
not salty. Salty good. I'm sorry. I'm a big salt fan. I'm not proud. I like salty things. Okay. So right here, here's my first ratio. So one of the questions on the midterm, the reason I ask it, so check for errors done. I check for errors. Check. I make histograms. I do z-scores. If something is plus or minus 3, I evaluate it. That sound familiar? Okay. Carlotta, can you see the red okay, or do you want me to switch to black? I can read lips, so you can see the red okay. Okay, so I'm digging the red today. I don't know why. It's just it's vibing with me well. Okay, so the next thing we do is calculate some ratios. Okay, and the reason I calculated ratios is because of, well, let me make the correlation chart and then I'll show you why I calculated ratios. So Stephanie, this is for you because I know that you struggle with this and a lot of other people struggle with this as well. Okay, so a correlation is putting z-score on one value with a z-score on a second value basically on a graph. Okay, and so if I make the graph on z-scores, the center part is 0. So here's my y-axis, here's my x-axis. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a plot of each data point on 2 different variables. Okay, and each plot. So if a score is here, it's average for y because it's average for x because the x value is 0. But it's positive for y. So the coordinates of this particular thing would be 0x positive y. Okay, that's what the coordinates of that spot would be. So if I put an infinite number of these little dots on here, each one represents a particular food. This person is a positive on x and a positive on y. this person right here is a negative on y and a negative on x and a negative on y. These couple right here, I had a really crazy old math teacher, which I loved. His name was Mr. Peak. He would always call these the Winky distributions. This is a negative positive. It's winking at you. And this is a positive and negative down here. I have to talk quieter because my wife's on a Zoom too. And hers is more important, so I will talk more quietly. Should I start singing?
Do it.
No, okay. I care about her, so she'll yell at me, and I don't want to be yelled at. Okay. Okay. So the distributions that I just drew, right? A correlation coefficient is the sum of these lines. If I were to take all these lines and average them all, I could make a single line. Am I still too loud? I'm not any quieter whatsoever. So I will talk like this.
And some more.
Some more videos.
Yeah. Okay. I could have one of those mics. Wait, I got these. And have one of those big phony mics in front of my face. I found these when we were cleaning out a cupboard. Okay. I will try to be quieter. Let me know if you can't hear me. Okay. She could go inside. Okay. So let's make the correlations real quick. Okay. So we go to analyze, correlate. Wait, why is it important to check the data before you run the correlations?
See if there's errors.
Yeah, the errors will make you find things that aren't necessarily really there. You'll find something because of the error, not because what the data really is. So before you run the correlations, you always check for errors, because you don't want to be all excited about finding stuff and then realizing what you found is just based on errors. Okay, done that before many times because I get excited to see what the data is and forget to check. Okay, so bivariate correlation, and this is the fun part. I just put all the nutrition in there. By putting all the nutrition in there, I'm going to make a chart, which you'll see in a second, like this. Okay, and so my chart is going to show me how the food is related to each other. It's exciting. So far, so good. Yeah. Are you raising your hand, Madison, or just stretching? Sorry. It's a teacher reflex. I can't help it. It's just, okay.
Sorry.
Lily, are you trying to log in like on 3 different things? Because you keep popping in and out with like, sorry, very distracting. Hey, Verna, how are you?
I'm alive. I finally woke up before 5 o'clock. Yay!
Oh, yeah, my son, we've been having to poke him with a stick around noon to get him out of bed. So, okay. So here, I want you to look at this category right here. Okay. So Stephanie, I'm talking to you. Just because I want, this is just hard to, it's hard to visualize until you really kind of embrace this chart. Okay. So here's my healthy food, right? When I see a significant relationship in my healthy food, what this is telling me that something about, whoa, I can make a little heart. Oh, okay, sorry. Something about this box right here. Okay, something about that box, the grams of food is related to being healthy or not. So we don't know exactly what direction or how it looks until we make the graph. But by seeing this, like for calories, is there a difference in calories for healthy? Is this statistically significant?
No.
No. I look at the statistical significance. I look for asterisks, and it's 0.24. It's not less than 0.05. I look at grams of fat. No. Saturated fat. No. Protein. Is protein different?
Yes.
Yes. And if you notice, it's the same direction. So this one right here, let me erase this really quickly. Erase that really quickly, okay? Okay,
Is
quit.
it possible
Go.
you could make it a
Okay.
little bit bigger?
So this one right here, it's a positive direction, which means as one value increases, the other value increases. Okay. This one right here is also a positive direction. This one here is also a positive direction, right? So what could cause all three of these to be in a positive direction?
Professor Weinert,
Yo.
sorry to cut you off, but is it okay or is it possible to make the numbers a little bit bigger?
Maybe. I can. Yes, I can. Hold on. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me clear this. Clear all drawings. Close that. Double click. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. If it allows me to do this, I can do that pretty easily. Ha. So the answer is yes, I can. I didn't know I could do that, but that's cool. Okay. So for those OCD people, I got it straight. Now, so here's my chart. Can you see this okay now?
Yes. So
Okay.
much better.
Thank you. I'm glad you said something because otherwise I would have just carried on happily being oblivious. So here's grams of food. Here is whether it is healthy or not. Is healthy a categorical variable or a continuous variable? Madeline's dying.
Categorical.
Categorical, right? So how do I make a graph of that? How do I look at that?
Pie chart.
Pie chart can show categories like frequencies, but it doesn't show distribution. So what is the way to show a mean and a category?
A bar graph?
Bar graph.
Well, a bar graph is not great for statistics. It's great for frequencies. So we use an error bar. We're always going to be making error bar graphs for quite a long time, the rest of the class. So simple error bar graph. It was grams of food and healthy. So far, so good. You're going to come up with and do some hypotheses in a second. What do you think is causing this?
The zero, they'll have zero for the two-tailed thing. I'm not sure how to say that.
What do you think is causing this?
Were we supposed to take out like the other like chunk?
Yeah, why would you want to take that other chunk out? That's a very wise thought.
It's skewing the data.
It's skewing the data. Even though the data is relatively normally distributed, everything in the other category seems to be pretty darn heavy. I'm going to guess it's that damn can of SpaghettiOs that was in there. That sounds really good right now. I'm in a serious junk food mood. Say it again.
What did you take?
Good internet. So what I said was, is the internet cutting out?
No, it's good now.
Oh, Karen, that's because you went too far away, Karen, from your internet source, it looks like. And so that's why, because it looks like she went outside. Or I don't see her on here, so she may have kicked out again. Okay. So this right here, I'm going to draw this real quick. We need to get rid of those people. How do we get rid of the, how do we get rid of those others?
Delete them.
We just like go back to the data and just like clear like their row.
Well, I don't want to delete them necessarily. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to data, select cases. And I'm going to say if healthy food equals, if healthy, come on, is, let's see, which is greater than, is less than, that's greater than, is less than 3. So 1 and 2 or 0 and 1, right? Let's put less than 2 then. So if I say, is that greater than or less than? I always get that confused.
That's greater than.
That's greater than.
Okay, so that's where dyslexia really rummages you for trying to do math. So if healthy is less than 2, now I'm going to do the same graph. And what should be on it? So what did I just do?
You made a separate group?
I just got rid of that extra group. They're still there. I just told the computer to ignore them except for that group.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see her coming back on. Okay. So let's wait. Now that I just got rid of the group, do I have to run those correlations again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to go back to my SPSS and we're going to run those correlations again. Oops. I'm going to take this chart now. Oops. Copy. Where's my whiteboard? There it is. We got the proper chart in here. Okay, so have the correlations changed?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So our correlations are not the same as they were anymore. So our grams per serving, is that statistically significant anymore?
No.
Nope. But what is statistically significant?
Protein.
Protein and
Salt.
salt. So the only things that are really different are protein and salt. So look at the second category. The second category now. So the second category is grams of food. Does the calories affected by the amount that you eat? This is a real rocket science moment.
It's significant.
It is statistically, it's a very strong relationship, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the more you eat, the more calories it has, unless you're eating something like celery. Wow, it's rocket science. So what if, wait, are nutrition bars any bigger than candy bars?
Not really.
No, not really. We just showed you that graph a second ago. And so because they're not any really different, the protein or the calories in the food is definitely dependent on the serving size, right? So could we make the graph of that? Everybody know what kind of graph to make with two continuous variables? We've only done this once.
The plot.
Oh,
Like
someone said it.
scatter dot.
Yay, scatter dot. Good. And so we just put can I predict the calories if I look at my grams per serving? That's the answer. The answer is yes. So I'm just going to do something really quickly here, just so you can see this. Descriptive statistics, descriptives of grams per serving, calories, save standardized values. Okay. So I just made z-scores, and I'm going to do a scatter plot of z-scores so you can see what this actually looks like in real life. This is what I was just talking about. Here, almost there. We're going to do breakout groups in just a minute here. Whoa, missed. Okay, so here's my graph. Here's the graph of this correlation. Okay. And so if I go here, and here's 0, and here's 0. Following this so far?
Mm-hmm.
Most of the scores are in the, this is a positive, positive distribution. In other words, all the scores here in this whole quadrant right here are positive, positive. What are all the ones down in here?
Negative, negative.
Negative, negative.
That's a sleepy distribution, according to Dr. Peak from my math days. Okay, so there's a group here and a group here that are in a negative, positive distribution, and there's a group here that are in a positive X, negative Y distribution, the sleepy distribution, I mean the winky distributions. So because there are only a few people here, we say the correlation is not perfectly straight, or not perfectly strong. If everybody was, if no one was in these opposite distributions, then we would say that it's a perfect correlation. But it's not perfect. Anybody remember what the numbers were if I scroll up? 0.79. Is that pretty good? Is that pretty strong?
Yes.
Yeah, that's actually pretty, that's a nice strong distribution. So in other words, can you predict, would that be a good value to predict about how much you eat?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the things we do is we have a food scale and we weigh everything that we eat. Well, we haven't been lately, but we have a really good idea of how much things weigh. And the reason we do that is so that we know how many calories we're eating. And it's pretty efficient and it works really, really well, except when you're snacking. Because then when you stop and weigh everything every you snack, no, you graze. Just walk by, yoink, walk by, yoink, walk by, yoink. And then by the time you're done, if you actually added up all those little snacks, it adds up to a significant portion of food. That's why it's really good not to. It's also dangerous to drink Diet Cokes because your body thinks it is getting sugar. So you open up your insulin so that you think you're processing more sugar than you actually are. It causes insulin crashes later. Don't drink this. It's so tasty though. Okay. So let's look at this relationship with, let's look at the saturated fat. Okay, do you think the line's going to be as good as this one?
No.
No.
But still pretty good, right?
It's still going to be kind of good, but watch what happens when I do that, when I get rid of grams and I look at saturated fat. So calories and saturated fat. What happens with my distribution? That whatever that one is out there. Staying away from that. Let me make that graph without the z-scores. Sorry. Oh, I wanted grams, not. There we go. That's better. So what happens when I use some things that aren't strong relationships?
It's really clustered together.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess and it's hard to see. It's hard to see what things really are. But when you see something that has a much stronger relationship, you can really see them line up pretty good. They kind of, the better the prediction, the better things line up. And you'll learn a little bit later in the semester something called a multiple regression. Multiple regression is a really awesome way of testing all the variables at once. But we have to learn how to do this part first. Okay, so, but when I look across this chart, okay, everything on this side right here, these are all the relationships. And these are, this top part up here is the mirror of those relationships. Okay, so if I look, I can find fat in the food and grams per serving. There's a strong relationship, but the same relationship is here. So that it's just a mirror opposite of each other. So if I go through and erase this, get rid of this mess here. Okay, so is there something that I could use that would tell me whether something is a candy or versus a nutrition bar just by looking at this? what would be the best predictor? That's your
calories.
Okay.
Calories or protein?
Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is I am going to create a breakout room. Okay, so three to four. Okay, that's right. So I'm gonna dump you into a small group. Okay, and in your small group, I want you to come up with hypotheses. Okay, and in your hypothesis, what you're going to do is, if you have a piece of paper, you can just write it down. I don't have to do it on a computer, but you're going to come up with the differences, these things. So what is this little stupid statement I did? I don't see Karen anymore. Her internet cut out on her. But what are these things?
Hypothesis or news.
Well, this hypothesis basically says for protein, let's do protein. The mean of protein for candy is the same as the mean of protein for nutrition bars. That's my null hypothesis.
Oh.
That's, in other words, that's what happens if there is no difference between the groups. This is the probability that we're testing. We're testing that they're the same group. So then we're going to come up, you guys are going to come up with an alternate hypothesis. And trust me, this is really easy. Okay. Candy is not the same as a nutritional supplement. And this is what we call an alternate hypothesis. So in your little breakout rooms, you have about 8.5 minutes, okay, to bitch and complain about me teaching online. And then you can, sorry, and then you can start, come up with 3 hypotheses that you want me to test. You will be able to do this next week, but here's the chart. What hypotheses do you want me to test? I'm not sure if you're in the breakout room, can you still see the board?
No, you can't.
You can't?
No, normally no.
Oh, okay. So, well, just think of 3 hypotheses. Almost everything is interesting. So you can come up with hypotheses, whatever you think. Okay, so what you have about probably 8 minutes. Come up with 3 hypotheses that you want me to test. You ready? Go. You should be able to join. There you go. People are, there you go. Carlotta, can you see it? It says join room. Come on, David. I think David walked away. That was really nice. I got to go get a drink of water. That's cool. All right. So we're going to try this. Hopefully someone in each one of your groups has a,
Oh no, he killed me.
not just a phone, but click on the little button that says annotate.
I don't understand that, bro. I just lit him more fires. They don't want to act, punching a gang of times. What does it take?
Hi. Good. That worked. So what you want to try and do
Well,
is,
hey, we can just follow the road, go straight to the bridge. So
Mute everybody at once.
I want everybody to write their hypotheses down. And Ariel, mute your roommate.
That's not me. That's not me. I swear to God, that's not me.
Was it? Who was it?
it's already almost daytime. I'm a little bit farther back than you are, but I'm like kind of near you, so I'm on my way back towards you right now.
Jessica's got the mute on her. You're the one that got the talker in the background.
Yeah, that's not me.
No, it's Jessica. I just saw the light up.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can. I'm chiming in from my phone, so I can't input.
Yeah, you can. I'm on my phone. Yeah, I'm on my phone.
Okay. How do you do it?
There's a little pen on the corner.
Oh, okay.
Annotate?
You just click on that, and then it'll say pen. You click on the pen, and you
See
can
if
write
you
it.
can do it. I'm just curious if this is a viable thing for you all to do.
Wait,
My
pen-
wife and her teachers all did this together. They formed a whiteboard. But see if you can write. That works.
Wait, what pen?
There should be, I don't know if you're on your phone or your computer, but on my phone there's a little pen in the corner if you click on the screen.
Reese figured it out.
How do you do it off the computer?
Yeah, I can't find it on the computer.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was me.
Luckily, it outs you because it says Bree next to it.
Oh.
Oh, view options.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So if this doesn't work, hey, there you go. Totally not clunky at all. Turn it into a butterfly.
No, that looks like an angel.
Sure. Same thing. Okay. No, that's not going to work. Okay. I just thought that would be a fun thing to try. Okay. So what we're going to do.
No. Dude, can y'all mute?
Watching TV or something going on. There you go. Okay. Is that your family or is that TV?
That's a TV. Sorry.
Okay. It's not a TV-ish. Okay. So it's not going to work as far as trying to okay, now I gotta stop. Okay, so let me just write on here, aside from there, annotate, clear all drawings. Okay.
No, I was almost done.
Hour. Okay. So
type button.
So Charlene, what do you got in your group? What are you interested in? What hypothesis are you interested in testing?
That the amount of calories in candy is not the same as the amount of calories in nutrition bars.
Okay, cool. So let's do the calories one first. Okay. So each of your group gets a chance. Hold on. Drop the cable. Okay. So this is how we do it. It's actually really kind of cool. We're going to do something called a t-test. T-test. Okay. A t-test tests the valuability of two means being the same thing. It's like a z-score, except as opposed to talking about individual scores compared to a mean, it's talking about two scores together. Okay, so we go to analyze, compare means, because that's what we're doing. And we're going to do what's called an independent sample t-test. Independent sample t-tests are a way of testing two different groups. Okay, and so we're looking at calories, is what you said first. And then healthy food goes into our grouping variable. So we're going to compare, I'll write the hypothesis up here in a second. I define my groups are 0 and 1, because that's how we have them coded, 0 and 1. 0 being a candy, 1 being a nutrition supplement. Okay. And then I'm going to click options and oh, I don't need to display the means. Okay. On the other test, you can display the means. Okay. So here are the statistics. So the nice thing about this little graph, I'm going to put this up here, copy, put this up on the whiteboard. Okay, so I'm going to paste. Super tiny. Okay.
Shh, I'm in class.
No, you're not. You're sitting at the kitchen table. Sorry. Okay.
It's because I'm eating.
It's okay. I love the family interaction stuff. It's just great. But so here's the calories. The average calories for candy is 207.5. The average calories for healthy something is 210. So just looking at that, can you tell if they're the same or different?
They're the same.
It's 3 calories. Is 3 calories a lot?
No.
No. So without even doing any statistical tests on this, I can say they're pretty much the same. So then, but in order to
What the heck?
tests, we'll take this part right here. Free.
Mom, stop.
You can just get in there. You Don't make me come in there. Okay, paste. Oh, that's super tiny. Can you see that? Okay, where'd it go? I lost it. There it goes. Okay, so here's my T value.
Quick question. Are you
Yeah.
going to be uploading this on Canvas after?
It's actually live streaming right now on YouTube.
Okay, and what's your channel? Is it just your name, right?
I will post the link to my channel on Canvas.
Thank you.
So you can see it and watch it again. So this little value right here on the chart is called a T value. A T value is the same as a Z-score-ish. It's a little bit different, but it's about the same thing. So if we find a Z-score that's 0.17, is that close to the mean or far from the mean?
Far.
0.17.
Oh, close.
Close.
That's good. So here's my probability of occurring by chance. Here's my statistical probability. Okay, so I'm going to write my hypothesis up here. Mu for candy is the same as mu for nutrition. Here's my null hypothesis. My probability of this being true is 86%. That's the probability of it being true. So is it most likely to be true?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's most likely to be true. So we can't say our alternate hypothesis that we come up with is mu candy is not the same as mu nutrition. And we have to go with this probability. That's the one that's most likely to be true. I know, it's so exciting. Okay, so what we just did is we took a test from a hypothesis test, and now we've just done the statistics, and now we can post it. Now we can say there's no difference in calories between nutrition bars and candy bars.
So are we, say our next test, is it going to be an alternate hypothesis and we have to prove wrong?
Well, so what we try to do is we always test the null. We're always assuming that the two groups are the same. And the probability that we test is whether the groups are the same. That's what we do. That's how it works. We assume that things are the same until we prove that they're not likely to be the same. If they're not likely to be the same, they might be different. So by setting up my null hypothesis, it tells me what kind of statistical test to do. And this seems really boring and repetitive and stupid, so therefore it's perfect, because that's the way statistics should be. Nothing creative, nothing new, same. Yes. Okay. So Stratus group, what do you got? What was your hypothesis, David? Or anybody in his group?
What we came up with was looking at the carbohydrates.
Okay, good. So carb. Okay, so we can go and do this back here. Okay, so we go back here. And so analyze, compare means, independent sample t-test, and we can get rid of calories, and now we can put in carbs. Everything else stays the same. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my t-tables here. Well, I don't know if you can see that because it is kind of small, but I'll just put it in here. So now here's my, what about carbs? Is carbs different? Here's my sig value, here's my t value. What do we got?
It's the same.
Not
Same.
really. Yeah.
So my mu1 equals mu2. In other words, candy equals nutrition, because the probability of them being the same is 46%. You can't say that they're not the same. Sounds kind of backwards, but that's how we do it. We test this null hypothesis. Okay, so it's not carbs, it's not calories. What else can we do? Another group, jump in. What do you think?
We're gonna put protein.
Okay, protein is probably a good one because there was a significant correlation for protein.
Yeah, we put
Right?
the mu of protein of nutritional bars does not equal the mu of protein in candy.
Perfect. Okay, so let's, and protein spelled wrong in here, you notice. Okay, I'm sure that'll get pointed out to me on YouTube. Okay, so I'll hit copy. So here's protein, paste. Okay, so now here's protein. Here's my null hypothesis. Mu1 for candy equals mu2 for nutrition. And now my probability of being the same is
0.
less than 0.05. That's not a C, that's a less than. So my t value, t equals minus 5.562. T is less than 0.05. This statement right here shows me that this null hypothesis is not likely to be true.
Mm.
So when you find a significant t like this, we say we reject the null. So if I make an error bar graph, of calories, what do you think you'll see? Somebody lives somewhere in a cool neighborhood. If we make an error bar graph of calories, what do you think we'll see?
Like they'll have like a strong relationship between the two, or?
Hey, Spark, come on. No, she's talking to someone else. I thought she was trying to answer us. Well, let's do it. Does anybody want to drive the computer and make the next one? Hi, Kari, you want to do it? Want to drive? Are you on a phone or are you on a computer?
I'm on my phone.
Oh, you're on your phone. It's hard to do it. Who's on a computer? Come on. Jessica, you're on a computer, right?
So what do you want us to do?
I want someone to drive.
I'll
Do
do it.
it, Francisco?
Sure.
Okay. So just click on the screen. Okay, make an error bar for me.
Oh, cool. I'm controlling.
Make an error bar of calories. So this is what it's going to be like for a lot of, with you guys, you log into a computer and you can actually control the computer from your device just like this. And simple, define. And then get rid of grams of food and put in calories. Good. Hit OK. Scroll down. So are they the same or different?
Same.
Same, but we already saw that with the t-test. The t-test showed that they were the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
So make the error bar of protein now. Scroll down. What do you see?
Pretty different.
Well, statistically different, because the t-test showed that they were not the same. Okay, sorry, it's not that exciting. Okay, so now, anybody else want to drive the computer? Come on, someone does. You want to drive the computer, Akari? Oh, you're on your phone, sorry. You keep popping up and you keep moving around all over the place. Like you look over there, Jessica's over there now, you're over here now.
Wait, so what is that 95% like of difference?
That, yeah, well, 95% confidence interval. In other words, if I scroll up a little bit, whoa, if I scroll up, I can't say with any confidence that those groups are different. But when the difference is less than 0.05, that means in less than 0.05 of the distribution overlaps each other. So 95% of the people in the healthy group is up here, 95% of the people in the candy group is down there. So less than 5% overlap. In this particular one, whatever that one, 86% of them overlap. 86, and where did I get that 86% from? Well, I got it from here. So if I find this one, you can see, well, this one is what? Oh, that's carbs. So calories was over here. There's the carbs. There's calories. 86% of those two distributions overlap. And if 86% overlap, here's my 86%, we say that they're likely to be the same. But when we see the error bar graphs, this is why we've been making error bar graphs all the time before we get to this point. Now you don't actually have to make all these error bar graphs like we did last time. All you have to do is go back and run all the t-tests at once. And so, does anybody else want to drive? Madison, do you want to drive? You got a little dance groove going. Do you want to?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Okay,
yeah.
so yes, for those people that have kinesthetic learners. Okay, so let me put you in control here. Hold on.
No.
Stop moving the mouse. Okay, so if I put Madison in control now, so just to click on the screen. Okay, so go to Analyze. And then compare means. And I don't show you this first for a reason. Independent sample t-tests. Okay, put everything in there except for like name and size and timestamp. That's stupid. We don't need timestamp.
Just press.
Click on that one and then scroll to the bottom and hit shift click.
Oh, okay. I don't have a mouse though.
Okay, hold on. Just let go of the mouse for a second. Okay.
Thank you.
You're right. Okay, so what we just did is we just tested everything all at once. We've just done all the comparisons right at once. Remember, tell people statistics is hard and explain how much work it is, but then realize this is it. That's all you have to do. And so hit OK. You got to click on the screen again. There you go. And then so we just made a chart of all of our means. Before, remember we did this, it took a long time to make a chart of all of our means and show everything, and it took a lot. There it is. Scroll down. It's kind of hard. There you go. So wait, go back to the top. Okay, so now protein is first. I'm going to take this chart. I'm going to copy this thing into the whiteboard. Okay, we put this in the whiteboard. Then we can zoom, then you can have control again and you can zoom in on it and stuff. Okay, so now that you have control of the whiteboard, okay, I'll make it a little bit bigger. Here is my T chart right here, we see that what is one that's most interesting that was right off the bat? How do I know what's interesting, what's not interesting? What column do I look at?
Trying to wrap my head around what I'm looking at.
Are you looking at the T column?
Okay, so the T value is like, whoa. The T value is like the Z-score, right? Okay, so I'm going to stop Madison's control here for a second because she's doing weird things.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to move the everybody's faces out of the way so I could see it.
Yeah, there we are. Okay, yeah, it caused some weird things to happen. That was cool. Okay, yeah, so the way to move everybody's faces out of the way, there's a little 3 buttons at the top. You click on the first button and only one person shows up.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened.
I have no acknowledge. Okay, I just deleted your control here. So the way we read this chart is we look at the column that says T, and then 2 columns over, we look at the column that says SIG. Okay, so this first 2 columns of this chart we'll talk about next week. So just kind of ignore those. But so we look at the T column and the SIG column. Now again, Carlotta, I know this is really hard to follow unless you have a giant computer monitor. So you can watch it again on YouTube and stop it and zoom in and stuff if you want to. And so the first one that we had in there was protein, right? And we know that the protein is statistically significant. We already did that. And then, so protein is, here's my T values, a 5. 5 is a big score. Remember, like a 3 and a Z-score means they're weird. This is a 5. And so the probability of that group being the same, of my null hypothesis with protein being the same, is less than 0.05. So as I look at this, I'm going to just move it over a little bit here. Grams per serving, same. Calories in the food, same. mu1 equals mu2. Fat grams, mu1 equals mu2. Saturated fat, same. Carbs, same. Salt. Salt. It's different. And so we have to make a graph to look at salt. Why would how is this salt different than everything else we've looked at so far?
Because
it's -3.
It's -3, and the probability of it occurring by chance is?
It's only 0.002%.
Yeah, it's less than 0.05. Okay, it's less than 0.05. And because it's less than 0.05, we can say that it's not likely to be the same. We reject that null hypothesis that there's not too many candies that are salty. It would be really fun if someone went and did Mexican candy versus American candy. Mexican candy is a lot more salty than American candy.
Is 0.05 always, like, that's always 0.05 is always the measurement?
Psychology, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for biology, they use 0.01. Because like for most of the food stuff, when we actually find differences, it's way less than 0.05. Because when you actually have real science measures, you find differences that are really there. For most social psych stuff, like when we do the self-esteem inventories and when we talk about personality stuff, the validity and the accuracy of the data is so low, 95% is good enough for us. It's still an A. We're good. It's good enough. But you don't want your doctor to be 95% sure. It's most likely not coronavirus. You're fine. Go ahead. What do you mean most likely not? I think there's TV commercials about that right now. Like, it's just like your accountant is just okay. Never mind. Okay. So what about calories per gram? Is that less than 0.05?
No.
No. And remember, we look at 1.96 Z-scores, and this is 1.85. It's interesting, but it's not statistically different. Madison, do you get that? Are you getting, yeah, yes, okay. So, but look at some of these. So what we did is, it's the same thing as we measured the different heights of men and women and then measured the ratios of the body parts. We also measure ratios of calories. What's most important in paying attention to your health is paying attention to the balance of calories that you get. And So when you look at the balance of calories, we look at if you eat a single candy bar, are you getting the same ratios of calories that you need versus eating a nutrition bar? And so when you're looking at just overall calories per gram and fat per gram, they seem to be about the same. But when you look at protein per gram, carbs per gram, salt per gram, and fat ratios, saturated fat to total fat, what percentage of the calories come from saturated fat? Saturated fats are the ones you want to avoid, just for the record, like in your Slim Jims. Okay, sorry. But the saturated fats are the ones you want to avoid. But there is a significant relationship that's just as strong as proteins with saturated fats.
Which row is saturated fats?
Okay, so if I scroll back up here, oh, we're getting internet lag here at the Weinert household. I'm not sure, something just froze, so that's kind of cool. All right, we'll do it this way. Okay, so let me go back. Let me make an error bar of just saturated fats really quickly, okay? So just overall saturated fats, okay? Here's the error bar. You think they're the same or different?
Different?
Well,
they kind
95%, I can't draw on this. Oh, I can't draw on this. 95% of my distribution of candy fits within my distribution of healthy foods.
Okay.
So I can't tell that they're the same or different or not.
Okay.
Right? However, what if we looked at per gram? So let's look at the ratios of fats. An avocado is pretty much a huge calorie base of fat. And I think she left, but one of you was eating an avocado when we logged in today. I would eat avocados just raw if I could. Just you sit there and eat them because they're amazing. But they're very, very high in fat. Most of the calories come from fat, but they're good, healthy kinds of fats. So it's yes, you will gain a lot of weight eating a lot of avocados, but you won't have heart disease. Okay, so now let's make the graph of the ratios of fats and see what that looks like. Okay, I made a bunch of dots on my screen up at the top. It's pretty cool. Okay, so let's make the error bar graph. Okay, and the fat ratios. So in candy, that's pretty funny, it lines up. In candy, what do you see? What would you just... What percentage of the fat in candy is saturated fat? I'm just trying to get the value labels on it, but it doesn't like the... What percentage of in candy, what percentage of the fat is saturated fat?
54%?
Almost 54%. In nutrition bars, what percentage of the fat is saturated fat?
Pretty much
30%.
30%. Oh, I think our dog is cute from the groomers. Oh, but is she cute though? Uh-oh. Okay, that means our groomer did a good job with our dog and I can stop worrying about it now. Okay, let me go back down through this. Ah, don't move. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so here's my T value. T equals 5.805. P is less than 0.05. This statement right here validates the fact that there's a different ratio in fat for candy bars versus nutritional bars. They seem to be the same on a lot of things except protein until you start actually breaking apart the ratios. Then you start to see that there's a difference. All right. So Kari's got a giant finger pointing right toward the screen and it's terrifying. Oh, there you go. Okay. So, all right. So you guys look pretty saturated. See how I did there? Okay. So what I want to try and do is, come on, I think it's great. I need to go outside. There's sunlight out there. Okay. But so let's go through and just do the steps really quickly. And then hopefully on Monday, when you guys log in, we'll have a computer that you can log into, even from your phone, that you can actually go through and do the SPSS stuff yourself. Okay, I will write a little description of exactly what I found in this data, like a proper write-up of what this data is. And so on Monday, we're going to have a different data set, different data, and it's going to be fast food. And so what are we going to attempt to do on Monday?
Find the correlations of
Same thing.
Effects.
I will go through and get rid of any bad data. I promise not to give you bad data anymore. I probably still will because it's the biggest problem with doing statistics is me or you, depending on who's doing it. So you won't have any bad data. So you don't have to worry about the histograms. You don't have to worry about the skewed data. But then what we have to do is we have to come up with parameters that we want to test. Do we have the right data to test the right parameters? So once we have the right parameters, what questions you want to answer that tells you which t-test to make. Once you write down your hypothesis, you know exactly what t-test to make. And the nice thing is that once you figure out the hypotheses, you just write in those t-tests and it gives you all the information you need to write a paragraph. You don't have to do any of the crap that we've been doing this whole time. Sorry. And it even gives you, if I go back here, lots of windows open. Okay. Oh, I hate the touchscreen on this. What is it? Do you even need to make the pie charts?
You do, right?
No, because what does it tell you right here?
The number of cases or things.
Yeah, it tells you the N. So all you have to do is run the t-tests. And as soon as you run these t-tests, it tells you if you only have like 3 subjects in one group, don't read that one. It's that easy. And so it gets super, every time we learn something, we get more efficient and go significantly faster. And there's even, I mean, if you really want to see it, there's an analysis that we can do. Here, clear. Go analyze regression, linear regression. There's so much more stuff that I don't even know how to do in this thing. Calories in the food, healthy, next, oops, fat, protein, carbs, salt, selection variable by, okay, we can't do that. Okay. So I can run one analysis that tells me which values are most important to pay attention to. And according to this one, it's fat, protein, and carbs are the significant contributing factors to calories in this food. Instantly. And it's kind of cool, but once we start learning how to do this more fancy stuff, you spend less and less time analyzing and more time just thinking about what the results mean. The analysis just gets faster and easier. Understanding the results becomes the part of the statistician. That's your job. Okay. So, all right. So that's all I got for today. If I send another database out, do you think you can add some food to it for me?
Yes.
Yeah, and it's really fun to go online and do that. Like if you go to, like I haven't updated my foods for a while just because I just haven't had time. There's my YouTube channel still streaming. But if you go to Jack in the Box, Okay, if you go to Jack in the Box, you can find their nutrition information. Oh. Okay, and so somewhere on here, food, somewhere on here you can find nutrition information. Sometimes it's actually difficult. Sometimes it's easy.
For the websites that I actually visited, like
Nutrition.
for snacks and stuff, like they make it so hard to find like all the actual like
But then
information.
there's these calorie counter websites as well.
Yeah, that's what I had to do.
Yeah, that's actually, it's hard to find when you see some of the stuff that's in there. What you can do with this Calorie King, you can write Jack's tacos, regular tacos. Yes, except the cookies. Okay. So there we have nutrition information right there. So it doesn't take very long if you find your favorite crap foods to eat. We love Jack's tacos. Those are one of my favorite college foods. Yeah, that's not really food. It's like any Regretto's bean burrito. It's just amazing. Just any of the lard-laden, greasy bean burritos are like my personal favorite. I don't eat them very often because they're not good for me, but man, they taste good. It's like ramen. Like ramen is crazy. If you've looked at the nutrition of ramen,
It's not good at all. Not good for you.
it's super tasty.
It's amazing. Ramen is amazing.
But chicken flavor ramen noodle soup dry, 375 calories. A little brick for 17 cents. Yes. Wow. Oh, and it's a half an hour of swimming to burn one of those little bricks. If anybody's tried to swim straight for half an hour, whew, that's an hour bike ride, an hour and a half walk. So they're very high nutritional elements right there. Wow. Anyway, but if you enter in these things, then we can start to compare, and then we can start classifying them by different categories and different groups. It's really kind of fun to start analyzing the food this way. Okay, and Lily's about ready to fall asleep. I think both eyes are, oh, one eye, there's one still open. Hello. Okay, I'm out. If you want help or anything, please email me, and I can log in later, and or just tomorrow I can log in, and you guys can drive my computer around if you want to practice and whatever you want until we get the NetLab set up. But the NetLab should be getting set up now, actually, as we speak. So good luck. All right, see you, folks.
Later.